let's go ahead and get into this one. The first thing I want to show you, and like I said, don't let me forget because I do want to show you how to make the tassels today too. I'm going to go ahead and use this fun napkin. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of, you could use parchment paper or wax paper, something inside the bag. Okay, because I am going to do some watercolors. And I don't want them, I don't think, I mean, just depends on how, how crazy you get with your watercolors. I don't think it's going to, let me make it a little bit wider. I don't think it's going to bleed through to the other side, but it's always good to just have a little insurance. Some of you might go a little heavier with it than me. So I'm just putting that inside of the bag, all right? Just to protect the other side of the bag, okay? And then let's go ahead and look at this napkin that I want to use. I'm going to, and yes, you can decorate both sides, of course, but I'm just going to focus on one side during Craft and Chat this morning. So I'm going to cut this napkin in half. So cute. And then I want you to see how the napkin will kind of continue on, right? See how it's going to continue on. So I'm going to decide about where I want this to stop and start. So I'm going to say about right there. So that means I'm going to be cutting right here. I'll go back and cut this a little better here in just a second. I just want to and again, I'm just using one napkin today, but as you saw on my my other sample zipper bags, you can collage as many napkins as you want. You can add as many as you want. All right, I'm going to cut this down a little closer. And it's okay, even if you have to slice off a bit of a popsicle here. Mackenzie will love this. That's who I'm going to make mine for. All right, that looks good. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to round the corners. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. But if you just nip off that little corner there, because these bags, because they're kind of, made to hold things, they have a slight, a little bit of a gusset. Not really big, but this way we don't have to worry about the corners coming off. All right, that looks good right there. And I can see that I got a little wiggly on my cutting right there. So let's clean that up. This will be cute. And of course, yeah, I'll have to add some cute trims and fun things for it. All right, here we go. Okay, so if I want to add some watercolor to this, all right, do I necessarily want to do all of these popsicles at one time? I could. I mean, I could cover the entire thing. And in fact, let's go ahead and cover one side with the entire napkin, just so you can see. And then I'm going to flip it over to the other side and let's do some watercolor. Okay. Because it is kind of fun sometimes to, just change things up. It doesn't have to be the same on both sides. So for those of you that are interested in strictly using the napkin art and not painting, okay, strictly using the napkin art and not painting, I'm going to change my screen here in just a second for you guys. All right, let me switch my screen. Thank you, Debbie. I think it's really sweet. It's very sweet and cheerful, and especially if we sparkle it up, it's going to be really, really cute. Okay. I hope I can see that okay, I think. All right. So I'm going to use Mod Podge Matte for this. I'm using kind of a bigger brush. This is a 1-inch brush. And I'm going to start kind of layering some Mod Podge on here. Now keep in mind it is a fabric zipper bag. Fabric wants to absorb, so we're going to make sure that we have a good healthy coat. And we're also going to make sure that we have those corners covered, all the things. Now, when this dries, your zipper bag is going to be stiffer than just, it's not going to feel like it does now. It's going to be stiffer. However, it's still going to be flexible. And of course, this is a little hard to see because we're doing white on white. So sometimes I just have to kind of look in the light, make sure it looks like I got everything. And if in doubt, I do another just quick coat over it all. Working kind of fast if you're going to cover the whole bag with one napkin. All right, we're going to do we'll do something different on the other side, but this will show you. I'm just going to use my lick and stick method here to separate the napkin. If that doesn't work for you, you can always just put a little dot of glue, not glue, Mod Podge on your finger, tap it together till it's sticky. You can use that. And let's just lay this down. I just want you to see how fast, cute and fast and quick this project is. So fun. I'm just kind of pressing down. Now, because this is fabric, right, and it's got a lot of texture to it, I don't usually use a plastic wrap sheet. I use a chip brush. This is a chip brush. It has nothing on it. And I'm going to come in and just start pouncing because we really want it to get down into all of the texture of the bag. We want it in all that texture that's happening on in our fabric. And I can tell I need a little more Mod Podge on that corner. And I need a little bit more here at the top too, it looks like. Yep, I didn't get quite close enough to the zipper. I'm just going to pull this down a little bit. While it's still wet. There we go. Much better. And I'm going to try to kind of hold this up so that you can see. I don't know if you can tell, but it is going to grab that texture of the bag, okay? And you can see right now it's still really, really flexible. We're going to dry this, and then we're going to put a top coat on it. So with every coat that we put on it, it's going to get, as it dries, it's going to get a little stiffer. That's normal. I'm going to show you something on one of my sample bags here. Hang on. Let me dry this. You always want to dry it before you put the top coat on. Just so I can kind of show you. So I'm going to put my hand in this one. So it is much stiffer, but do you see how it's still flexible, right? It is going to be stiffer, but it still has some flex to it. And honestly, the more that you kind of work at it, the softer it will even get. Okay. Yeah. Isn't that fun? Okay. I think just for saving time, I'm not going to put my top coat on this. I'll do it after I'm done with you. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, but literally that would be my next step. If you're just using one whole napkin, right? You're just, once you put this application down, make sure you take off all the plies of the tissue, of the napkin, this stuff, right? Take off the plies. We just want the top part of the tissue. And then once it's dry, we're going to put a top coat on because that's going to seal the napkin. It's going to protect the napkin and also allow us to come back in and possibly do some pen work, or, you know, add some other things, stickles, all the fun things. Okay. So super easy, right? Like super easy. I'm going to turn it over now. because I want us to have a little more fun. Let's just have a little more fun. So we sell a couple of starter sets for watercolors. We do this for mainly for our journaling, my journaling members. This set is, it's almost like a little travel set, really. They're a great size, little starter sets. This one is metallic, and this one is just kind of good primary colors. So I'm just going to show you how fun it is to add the watercolor. I like adding watercolor better than paint. I just like the way it looks. It's a little softer. So one of the things we're going to do first is I have a little spray bottle with water. We're going to come in and we're going to spray on top of the watercolors. Okay, this is a new set. Water needs to be able to penetrate into these cakes. This is what we call these, cakes. And if you think you may want to use the metallic colors like this, these work so much better if they have time to soak up some water. They get very creamy, much more creamy, but they need a little more water and they need a little more time for that water to penetrate. Okay. So I'm going to go on back to this one. I also, there's a little brush in here, but you could use a water brush. I'm just actually just using a cup of water and a paintbrush today. And let's have some fun. You guys ready? I still have my parchment paper in here. So I'm going to come in. Let's see. I have to think about my audience, right? I'm going to think about my audience. Also, something else you can do is spritz the bag, the surface, just to get that a little bit wet. And I'm just going to come in and put in some bright, fun colors. Okay. And again, we want to make sure it is water that causes the watercolor to float. So we want lots of water. And it's completely up to you if you know, how you want to apply it. I'm just going to kind of do bands on this one, I think. Bright colors, because that napkin, those popsicles are bright colors. And as it dries, sometimes it will kind of lighten up a little bit. Okay. Sometimes it'll lighten up. You can add a little bit more water. And that's pretty good. I don't usually take it all the way up to the zipper because that's usually where I'll probably will glue some ribbon or trim or something like that. I'm going to dip into some purple now. And let's do a little band of purple. Now, if you're going to do bands like me, watercolor looks great floated into the color you're putting it next to. So we're going to let it just kind of float in. And I'm just going to keep kind of working down the bag. Oh, I'm going to show y'all something else too we did at her birthday party. Mackenzie wanted to have her birthday party here with some friends, and we just did a little craft. They actually went to the water park that day, and then they came in and did a craft with me. And it was on these bags. So I'll show you that too. I forgot. I'll grab that in a minute and show you. So do you see how I'm just kind of letting them just kind of float and blend together? Let's pull in this green color. Most of the time I just let my brush kind of clean it off in water, but you can use like a paper towel to kind of clean it off. This might not be bright enough. This one might need to soak up a little. Oh, I touched the black a little bit. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Because I'm using this big paintbrush. I just thought it would be faster with the bigger paintbrush. Yeah, I'm going to show you what we did. We made vinyl stencils for the girls' names. Here, I'll show you. We did vinyl stencils for the girls' names. And so I made one as for myself as I was kind of showing them. And then we put the stencil part of the vinyl down, and then we just painted in bands of color and then stickled it and then just pulled up the stencil, and everybody's just turned out so cute. And of course they got way more creative with theirs. But these little I think I'm going to go into this other green. This one's a little too light for me. The girls got so creative with them. That was fun. So there's just lots of things you can do with zipper bags. And then lots of things that you can tie off of zipper bags. If you get a little keychain, that's why I want to show you how to do the tassels today. I'm just spraying water, Tamara. Just spraying some water. Oh, I actually like this one with the 2 colors of green in it. It's pretty. And this is something where I don't want you to look at it too close. Watercolor is meant to be kind of abstract looking. Let's put some blue here at the bottom. So I'm just, again, just kind of doing these bands of color. Pull in some extra water wherever you need to. And we're still going to napkinize on top of this too. Isn't it fun? Yeah, you spray the whole watercolor palette. And like I said, I'm using kind of a bigger brush just to make this go a little faster. But yeah, I usually spray the whole watercolor palette because I don't know which colors I'm going to use. And it just allows that water to soak up into the cake. We call that cakes, cakes of the paint. That looks so cute. Okay, I'm going to put a little more water here. And then this is just water. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to pull in a little yellow. I'm going to pull in just a little touch of yellow in here. Isn't that pretty? We can even put a little touch of yellow here. Yellow just always brightens things up. And it's a great kind of a, to me, it's kind of a great blender. Go a little higher up here with some yellow. It's just fun. Fun, fun, fun. Especially for what we're doing today. Those cute summer tropical popsicles and fun things. Okay, I'm feeling like this is looking pretty good. Let me hold it up for you so that you can kind of really see everything that's going on here. So we just basically created this awesome kind of watercolor background. It can be any way that you want it to be. And now we're going to dry it. And you're going to notice as it dries, it's going to lighten. Okay, it's going to lighten up a little bit. You know how when things get wet, they always look a little darker? Well, this is pretty wet right now. I'll put my hand in here. And you're going to watch as it kind of starts to lighten. Yeah, it's so fun. Watercolors are just such a fun, easy medium to work with. And if you were going to do this with kids, like you could even use sponges, like a makeup sponge instead of a brush, and just dip the makeup sponge in water. So many things that you could do. And if you didn't want bright colors, you can still do the same thing. You can water down your colors. I like to use this area over here sometimes to just add some extra water so that they're lighter, more pastel-y. Stick my hand in here again. It just helps to open it up to dry. Isn't it cute? So fun. And if you use the metallic ones, you would just have kind of a pearlescent sheen to them. They have a really neat kind of metallic pearlescent sheen to them. Okay, I think that's probably dry enough, but do you see how that's light, how that just kind of lightens? Isn't that pretty? As it dries, it just kind of, I don't know, something just magical just kind of happens. So pretty. Okay. All right, that's probably good enough. And let's look inside. So here is the inside. This is why we put that parchment paper or wax paper down. Just to protect our other side. Yep, just stick it right inside. We did the same thing when we did the vinyl stenciling with paint and Stickles. Okay, so now that we kind of have this, and it's still a little bit wet, but I think it'll be fine for us to move on. I have our popsicles here, right? So if I wanted to, I can cut some of these out. I don't have to. I'm going to do something a little different than I did on the other side. Remember our other side, right? So these, I'm just going to do a little bit of fussy cut around them. And I like to, if I'm going to fussy cut something, and by the way, can you see how I kind of bubbled around it? That's what you'll do. Just bubble around it. You don't have to cut right on the image. I have not separated these yet. Okay. Haven't separated anything yet. I'm going to cut out these 4. And instead of like a summer word, I think I'm going to put something like just stay sweet or something like that. Now these have the blue around it up here. I am going to cut in a little closer on the popsicles to kind of get away from some of that blue. But the rest I'll just kind of bubble. The lighter the color, the more translucent it is when we napkinize. So there's a little bit on there, but not much. Yes, these napkins are from our Summer Splash Value Pack. We have a value pack that we're selling right now. We've been selling it since I think we started selling it last week. So whatever we have left is what we have left if you're interested in it. Lots of summer and kind of ocean themed napkins in it. Okay. All right, we've done this part. How are we doing out there? We doing okay? So fun. Okay, so I'm going to do my little liquid stick. You can use Mod Podge if you want to. We need to get all the plies off. Normally, I would come in sometimes and add some color like white behind these, but I think these are going to be just fine up here. I'm going to kind of put them in this pink area. But if you were putting down napkins on top of paint or on top of a watercolor painted area or regular paint, it's always, you have to know that color is going to come through the napkin. Okay. So sometimes it may be necessary to put down some white paint. But for this, it's going to be fine today. Yeah, I think it's going to be just fine. Okay, and let's see, what order do I want to do? I think I'll do heart. I think I'll do that. Popsicle, popsicle, pineapple, heart. Oh, I might have to do one of the watermelon ones. Hang on. I'm going to do a watermelon one. So let me cut this little watermelon one out real quick. Are you excited? Are you excited at the potential of making some really cute zipper bags? You can make them for all seasons. You can personalize them. There's just so many things you can do. Yeah. Yeah, I want a watermelon one in here too. Okay. So I may lose one of these. Let's see. Oh, yes. We got to have the watermelon. That's too cute. So I could keep this one or this one. I think I'm going to keep, well, that one kind of blends in, doesn't it? Let's keep this one. Yeah. Okay. That's going to be my order right there. Okay. So now then I'm just going to move these back and I'm going to go ahead and apply my Mod Podge again. Now, if your watercolor hasn't completely dried, sometimes the Mod Podge will activate it again, but it's really going to be okay. If anything, it's just going to blend a little bit more. So no worries there. And I'm going to put all of my popsicles up in this top part. Kind of swirl your brush around. We just want to make sure that Mod Podge gets everywhere. Definitely easier to see when you already have some color down. White on white is a little trickier. You guys want to know what one of the things that people commented the most to me? Well, not, I mean, other things, but one thing I thought it was funny that people would say to me at the Christmas craft event. Of course, they would hug on me and love me and Miss Tracy and all the things, but then they were like, "You are short." I was like, "Yes, I am. I am short. I'm a little short and a little round," is what I told everybody. But it was so funny just to see. You know, it's just so different when you see somebody in person when you're used to just seeing like this much of somebody. So yes, indeed, I am short. All right, I'm going to put them up about like that. I think that's somewhat, I don't have to be exactly apart. All right, I may have to put down some more Mod Podge. All right, let's go ahead and pounce away. Well, I'm glad at least I look taller on camera. I always wanted to be taller, and I could swear that I'm shrinking a little bit because there's like certain things at the tops of closets that like, I know I used to could reach these things, but not anymore. All right, anywhere I feel like I need more Mod Podge, I'm going to come back in and add it. This is one reason why it's important to make sure that watercolor has plenty of time to dry. Still a little wet, still a little damp. I think I can get through this. Okay. So you guys make sure and allow plenty of time for your Mod Podge to dry. I think that one's okay. And this heart needs a little more right up here. Oops, tore just a little bit. All right, we'll deal with that tear. A little bit right down here. Okay. Another tear. Okay. I'm going to draw this one real quick before I mess with it anymore. I repair a popsicle stick. Yeah, definitely going to be easier if we wait for everything to be good and dry. And the Mod Podge will dry clear. I mean, I know right now it looks kind of milky. I just want to get this one dry enough that I can come in and repair. I have a little tear up here, and I have a little tear down here. So I'll show you guys how to do a repair job. This will not happen if you let your watercolor completely dry. Yeah, we're going to stickle these. It's going to be so cute. Okay, this is the one I want to make sure is really good and dry. So we can come in and repair him. Okay, this was the heart. So if you ever have to repair something with your napkin art, it actually is quite easy, because most of the time with a napkin, you have those additional images, right? You have those additional images. So all I really need is the bottom part of this popsicle stick. That one tore on me. And this kind of this top portion of the heart. I don't even have to do the whole heart. I just need part of it. All right, let's go ahead and separate it. So you guys just make sure your watercolor is really dry before you start napkinizing. I don't always have that luxury when I'm online with you. Okay. All right, let's do the bottom area and the top area. We're going to make sure we have plenty of Mod Podge this time. All right, here goes our popsicle stick. I'm just going to line it right up. And here's the top of our heart. This little shoulder of the heart. Right there. Perfect. Okay, much better. Okay, that's how you fix something. Literally, it's just like a piece of a puzzle. You're just going in and fixing it. So now I'm just going to make sure that these are dry. I am going to put a top coat over them, because I think it would be fun to show you how to sparkle them up and all the things. I'm also going to draw down here, because I think it would be fun to actually put some words down here. Yeah, it's so cute. And it's kind of fun that both sides don't have to be the same. So it's a great way for me to demonstrate for you. If you just want to put just the napkin on, you can, or you can get a little more artsy, right? Yeah, so many things we can do with napkins. It's crazy. You guys make sure and come and join me on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central for my big news. And the big secret will be revealed. And I'm going to show you all of the napkins in the August bundle called Create, Sleep, Repeat. And then if you're interested in the Fabric Fan Club, I'm doing that live reveal on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. So Fabric will be first at 6 p.m. Central. And then my big news and Napkin Club reveal will be at 7 p.m. Central. And then if you are a paper crafter, a memory keeper, a scrapbooker, come join me Wednesday night to hear all about our live event coming up the first weekend on October, called Memory Keeping Matters. It'll be a retreat style event, workshops, all kinds of fun things. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Get nice and dry. Do you see how the watercolor is lightening as it dries? It starts to get lighter, right? You should be able to see that now, especially. So now then, I need a little more Mod Podge here. I'm going to come in and just do a quick top coat. Okay, now I'm going to actually do this top coat over down here as well, because I'm going to write some words in here. I know I'm a little terrified to do it online, but I'm going to. I'll do it live. I'm going to do it scared. Do it live. I'm going to actually hand letter some words on this bag. So just a quick coat Trying to keep this one a little thinner just so it won't take as long to dry. But this is going to protect the bag. It actually really does protect the bag, you know, seals it from dirt and all the things. And of course we want to seal our napkin art. That's important. Yeah. So if you did just come to the Christmas craft camp, would you tell me in the comments what one of your favorite things was? Maybe it was a project, or maybe it was meeting someone. Like, what was one of your favorite things about our Christmas craft camp? Okay, I think I'm feeling pretty good about all that. Yeah, tell me while I'm drying. You can tell me about it. Yeah, Cindy, we all make mistakes. Mistakes happen. They just happen. Every crafter experiences mistakes. But napkin art is such a good, like, you get a do-over. You get an easy do-over. And even in the worst case scenario, like, let's just say it's worst case and you just totally botched up a napkin on, I don't know, a canvas, a piece of wood, a bag, whatever it is. I mean, literally, we can take all of that back off, sometimes with water, sometimes with sandpaper, and just paint right over our surface and start all over again. So to me, napkin art is very forgiving. Sometimes it's an easy quick fix where you just do a quick patch up, right? Patch up job. But sometimes it can be more than that, but I've never had to throw out a surface, right? You can always redo it. All right, this is doing good. Kelly, you're so funny. Kelly Roberts is my soul sister, I'm pretty sure. We like so many of the same things, and we finally got to meet at craft camp. It was awesome. Lori says meeting you, also learning. Oh, I just lost it. I think she was saying learning all the different projects and different techniques. Yeah, it was very varied. We had lots of different projects, different types of techniques. Look how pretty the bag is, you guys. Isn't that cute? Okay, feeling good and dry. Let's do a little pen work while everybody's chatting. Yeah, had free time in the evening. We're going to do that with all of our events. On Friday night, we're going to have free, like, open creative time. And that was really nice to be able to catch up on work on projects, but also just to hang out with each other. It was fun. Okay, so if I want to do a little bit of pen work, and this is optional, this is completely optional, but if I do want to do pen work, I like to use Pitt pens for this because they're waterproof, they're steadfast, they don't react with water again. And sometimes it's a little tricky doing pen work on a bag because it's not smooth, right? There's texture in that fabric, but I'm going to try to just do a little bit here just so I can show you. So like these watermelon seeds, to me, these watermelon seeds aren't really showing up very much. So I'm going to come in and just kind of draw around them. And then I can come back in and fill them in. Just like little teardrops, right? They don't have to look super professional, fancy. So if there's ever any kind of, I'm going to see, there's not even one over here, but I'm going to add one. And I think I'll add one right up here. And maybe one right there. But now that really shows up, right? So what about the pineapple? Well, if I wanted to do just a little bit of detail work around the pineapple, I can, and it doesn't have to be a lot. You can just kind of barely let your pen touch, but it's just kind of a fun, just a fun way to add a few accents so that it can show up more. Let's see. Let's do our heart here. Make sure that's dry. You never want to do your pen work if you're napkin is still wet. So let's just do, and on this one, I'm going to kind of come inside the heart maybe a little bit. Just make it look a little more dimensional, right? Isn't that cute? This popsicle over here, we can't do pin work to 3 and not do it to number 4. We got to get something in here. And you can even kind of just do a wavy, kind of artsy doodly. Call this a double trace. Yes, very cute. Let's go ahead and go around our very light-handed, and it's okay if it's a little wiggly. That's actually makes it even more cute, in my opinion. Okay. All right. So you see that pin work. That's always fun. Now I'm going to go ahead and just pop my pin work with the dryer again, just to be sure that is good and dry. And we're going to sparkle these. Okay. We're going to sparkle these. Of course they need to sparkle, make them even cuter. And you could use glossy accents if you want to. I think I'm just going to go with sparkle this time. All right, want to be sure my pin work is totally dry. And let's come in with this color. This color is called Crystal. It's, you all know, all the clear ones, they work quite kind of the same, but it's just the one that I grabbed. So the thing with your napkin art is, if you don't feel comfortable, you have to be a little cautious, especially, you know, if you're working quickly. You can come in and just kind of pounce in some of the sparkle. It doesn't have to be everywhere. Like, let's just kind of pounce this one in up here towards the top and around the bottom. Okay. Let's do our pineapple. Maybe on the pineapple we just do the leaves. So again, if you're worried, I don't want you to I don't want your tip to drag through your napkin, but it's been sealed, so it really should be okay. Just want to show you how that could look, and it's up to you how, you know, how much or how little you want to sparkle. Let's go ahead and do the heart. I think we'll do the heart like everywhere. And if you move it around with a brush, just kind of pounce it. You can kind of keep it where you need to keep it, but it puts it on nice and thinly. Isn't that cute? So our watermelon. Okay, I'm going to be a little more cautious with the watermelon, and I'm going to put some dip dots kind of in between the seeds. And let's see if I can, I'm going to try to just apply this everywhere, but not on top of the seeds. I'll show you something else we can do for the seeds. The seeds would be great for glossy accents because it leaves kind of it's more of a wet look without sparkle. Okay, I did pretty good, didn't I? All right, I'll do that part at the very end. I do feel like I need some kind of sparkle on the pineapple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trace the lines really lightly, barely squeezing anything out. And I'm just going to drag this little tiny line around my pineapple. Cute. This napkin bundle is the napkin that this comes in is our Summer Splash Value Bundle. Anybody can purchase it. It is super seasonally priced at $7. Very inexpensive. And I believe there's 21 napkins, something like that in the bundle. It's just a variety of summer. Some is ocean, some is tropical, all kinds of, just a variety. And a lot of them are past napkins from past years in the Napkin Club. All right, so we're going to make sure this is fairly dry, and I'm going to come down here. This is the part I want to make sure is pretty good. Feels pretty good. The Mod Podge is dried really well. And this is the part I'm a little scared about. But it's okay. I can do this. I can do this. So a couple different things we could work with. We could work with a paint pen. We could work with a brush tip pen, right? We could do that as well. It's really just up to you, how comfortable you feel, right? I'm going to write on here, be sweet. And you guys are going to encourage me and cheer me on because hand lettering does not come naturally to me. I have to practice at it. So I'm going to put, should I put be sweet or stay sweet? I kind of like stay sweet. Okay, I'm going to do stay sweet. So let's do, I'm going to do sweet first over here. So I'm going to start off with the black. All right. I'm working backwards. And then let's do a cute S with a curly Q. Okay, so there's my sweet. And then over here, I think I'm just going to do kind of like on an angle. Stay sweet. Okay, stay sweet. It helps me sometimes to use I use the brush pen first, but another idea would be to use your friction pen because your friction pen will disappear with heat. So it's kind of nice sometimes, like if you're just practicing where you want something to go, to use your friction pen. Okay, to use your friction pen. So now that I have this on here, I'm gonna, let me see. I hope this paint pen has enough paint still in it. Let's see. It's kind of running out. Oops. Okay, it's kind of running out. So let's use a gold pen. Okay, so this is a gold paint marker. So what I'm going to do next, okay, is I'm going to come in and I'm going to kind of just go over my lines. You could do this with your friction pen too ahead of time, but I'm going to come in here. She loves gold, so gold will be great for this. Thank you, Cheryl. But this gives me kind of a roadmap, right? And so this is going to be thicker. This pretty gold. Okay, can you see that okay? You are going to see texture because there is texture on the bag. Can't get away from that. It's just part of the texture on the bag. Paint pens, you just shake them and you push them down to load them. I'm using the gold leaf pen. Here, let me hold it up so you can see how pretty. Isn't that pretty? I think it looks pretty. And it's got kind of a chisel tip. So that makes it easy for places that you want to be thinner rather than thicker. I think it was best for me to use that brush tip pen for you guys just because you can see the black so much easier. If I had used my friction pen, it would be really, really hard for you to see. But your friction pen, again, the advantage to using that is, yeah, it's going to disappear with heat in case you don't like what you drew. That's why I was feeling the pressure. I was like, oh my gosh. So when this dries, it's going to be really uber metallic. Now I'm going to use kind of the point area here so that this can be a little thinner. All right. Okay, let's dry this. You can see how just adding the napkin on the other side is the fastest way to go. But sometimes it's fun, you know, to do something a little different. I want to make sure that this is completely dry because I'm going to do something else around it. I'm just pulling out all the stops for you guys today. Show you several things. Oh, we have to make the tassel. Don't let me forget that. Okay, we'll do the tassel next. Okay, so now then, if you wanted it to stand out a little bit more, this is where you can come in this time with your thinner pen. See how that's just kind of outlining that. But I'm not going to do both sides. I'm only going to do one side. Just gives it a little bit more depth. And I know all of you guys know more about like shadow and all of that. I don't know about all those things. So I just kind of put it where I think would be a good place to put it. And I'm doing this very lightly, like I'm barely letting the pen touch. Okay. I want it to be just really light. Barely let it touch. Okay. All right. Feeling good about that. Okay. Last thing. And then we're going to add our, we're going to do a tassel. Okay. I promise. Last thing. All right. So I think you can see, do you see how that just added just a little bit? Even if you don't know exactly where to put the line, it still just helps. I used a medium, but I barely let it touch. Okay, Lynn, I used a medium, but barely let it touch. So because my granddaughter is a sparkly girl, I'm going to come in and add some sparkle. And I'm just using the tip to kind of move this around. And then while it's drying, we'll make a tassel. We'll make a couple tassels. Tassels are so fun. I'll show you how I make them with embroidery floss. You can make them with all kinds of things. So I'm just using my tip to kind of move all the sparkle around. I'll hold it up for you here in just a second. And the other side, remember the other side that has the full napkin? There's nothing, once I put my pen work down, once I put my top coat on the back side with the full napkin, then I can go in and add some sparkle or pen work to any of those popsicles over there. All right. So let me kind of hold this up for you. See, so now it looks like sparkly metallic gold. She will love it. She will love it. So the other side is where I was saying, I haven't put a top coat of Mod Podge on this yet, but after I do, I can come in and do a little pen work and add the sparkle, and that's all I have to do on that side. And then, of course, if you want to add buttons, ribbon, trim, pom-poms, all the things, right? You can add all the things, okay? All right, let's talk tassels. Let's talk tassels while that is drying. Tassels are super easy, and you guys, one of the easiest tassels to make is using embroidery floss. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple colors that I think would look good with this. The pink, the green, let's see, and maybe this one. I'll do these three. Actually, the orange looks kind of good too. I think I'll do these. Okay, I think I'm going to do, I don't know. All right, we'll just put them all here. Those are my choices. Okay, so you're going to need a pair of scissors. And then I want you to watch as I make these because I kind of have a way that I do them when I'm using embroidery floss. All right. So before you go taking everything off of it, I'm going to take off one little tube here. And then we're going to bring this tube kind of to the middle. And we're going to find the center of all these strands. It's just holding it all together for you by having that. When my finger is in the center here, right, of all the loops, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull, let's see if I can get it. I'm going to pull one strand so that I can get a nice little cut here. I just need a strand of it to come out. Okay, we'll do this. We're going to do this a few times. Now, these are going to be fairly long. You don't have to make yours this long if you want to wind it around something. I usually just make them and then I cut them. Embroidery floss is generally kind of inexpensive, especially if you can find it at dollar stores or places like that. So what I'm going to do first is, keeping the wrapper on, I'm going to take this strand that I just cut, and we're going to do this just kind of in the middle. Can y'all see that? See that? And I'm going to tie this off in the center. Double knot. Okay, double knot. Now, once you've done that, now we're going to take the rest of the wrapper off, the other little wrapper off. And we're going to come down with our scissors and cut. So this is going to be my tassel. Now this is way longer than I need it to be for a zipper bag. It just depends. What are you making the tassel for, right? What are you making the tassel for? So you can see how we have that. So I'm going to go ahead and hold it in my hand. And I'm going to cut off just a nice little portion of that. So this is going to be the length of my tassel. Now, watch what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take out one strand, just one strand here from my tassel. Just pull one out. It's going to slide out really easily. And we're going to make like the little top knot, okay? The little top part of the tassel. So how we do that is just lay it here on top of the one that you took out. And you can do them with multicolors, all the things. And then watch, do you see kind of where I have it at? I'm going to tie this off tight. So it gives me kind of like this little top knot on the top of my tassel. Let's do that again. If you want to kind of shake your tassel about, you can before you tie off this part. But this is the part that really helps it to look like a tassel, I think. All right, am I on the camera? Yeah. So just come down, tie that off nice and tight. We're going to do a double knot. Now, anytime you do a knot, I just want to show you this. Anytime you do a knot, one tail is going to go down from the knot and one is going to go up. We're going to cut the one that's going up real close to the knot. And then the one that's going down, we're going to let it be part of the tassel. And we're just going to trim it close to the edge. And now we have a cute tassel to tie on our zipper. So you have your zipper right here, but what I would do is put maybe like a little keychain, you know, the little keychain thing on it. Let me show you this one. So see the little keychain part? And then look at all these tassels, right? You can tie off all these tassels onto it. This one has a key, some charms. You can do whatever you'd like on those. So going back to this one that has the little wooden domino keychain, I could easily come in and tie off some tassels to that too. Okay, super easy. All right, I'll bring my screen in. Let's make another one. Let's bring the screen way down so you can see better this time. Okay, let's make one from the green. So what I do is I take one tube off and I bring the other one kind of to the middle. Okay, it just helps hold everything together. Then we're going to separate, and we want to make sure that we've got the loop, right? We've got kind of the loop edge right here. Okay. Now, do you see this is a tail? I'm going to pull this tail down so I can kind of see where it is. And here it is. It's this piece right here, or maybe not. Hang on. Yep, that's it. It's this piece right here. So that's usually the one that I wind up cutting to loop up here at the top. So this is up to you. This is really up to you. If you wanted to, you could tie it off at this stage. But usually what I do is I go ahead and take this part off. Everybody see that okay? So this longer piece is the piece that we would be tying off of something. We're going to do a nice tight double knot. I make these for my journaling Bible. Gosh, I'm just making them for all kinds of things. They're so fun. So now we're going to determine how long do we want this tassel to be. Maybe we want this one to be a little longer, right? So let's bring this one down. Sure. And cut it off. Okay, so see, so you can determine how long you want them to be. That's totally up to you. And we can always go back in and give them a little bit of a haircut. So then what I do is I pull out one strand, or if the ones you cut are long enough, we can just use one of these. I kind of like using a strand just because then I know there's going to be plenty enough to go around it. Fluff it. And they will fluff out more once they are hanging. They've just been used to being packaged and all bunched up. Put it on top. And then we're going to tie this one down a little bit so that we get this nice little top knot for our tassel. Tied in a double knot. We want to make sure everything's really nice and tight. One of our pieces will go down, one will go up. It's just what happens. I cut the one that's up close to the knot, and then this one close to the bottom. So now we have those tassels. All right, isn't that fun? I think, yes, I think embroidery floss makes a really great tassel. Obviously, you can make them with all kinds of things, though, right? You can make them with fabric and fabric strips or ribbon, twine. There's so many different things. Okay, I'm just cutting my piece for the hanger. I'm going to hang it with. And then we just want to be sure that we have the loop, all the loops right here. Actually, it really doesn't matter. Whichever end you want to work off of is fine. So I'm going to go inside the loops. Double knot. And remember, this is going to be what we're going to hang, how we're going to hang it on to whatever we're going to hang them off of. Now I'm going to take off the loop. And let's do this one. Do about like that. Okay, I think this one's long enough I can use. Shake them out a little bit. They'll relax some once they've been hanging. Can you see the Mod Podge on my fingers? Got lots of Mod Podge on my fingers here. And again, a double knot to make that top knot. The one at the top that goes up to the top, we cut close to the end. And then this one, let's make those ends meet a little bit. So now we have 3 tassels. And like I said, you can combine colors. Okay, so let's do, if you wanted to combine colors, you're just basically combining loops. And that's always fun. Kind of fun to do. So again, I pull down this one right here, and that just shows me which one it's pulling. And then I just pull it up. You're not going to need a whole lot to tie off. Put your fingers in here, right? So you can tie off either side. You guys have any questions on this? Very simple. Double knot. Now let's go ahead and take the wrapper off. And sometimes, just depending on where that one is that you pulled, you'll wind up with a random string kind of hanging down. And that's okay. Let's make this one longer. Oh, well, he may wind up being a little shorter. It really doesn't matter. We can trim, you can trim them all to the same size, whatever you want to do. So now just using a strand to tie off my top knot. Okay, that one came a little loose. There we go. And there we have it. Look how adorable. Look how cute all these little tassels are. Aren't they fun? So they can hang off of the bag. You can tie them, I mean, especially tassel, because the DMC floss is so thin, you can tie it right off of the zipper if you want to. But I really like kind of using I like using a key ring or a book ring or whatever. No, this is more like a key ring, right? And then when you do get ready to tie them on, you can determine like what, do you want some of them hanging longer than others, right? You can tie them off at whatever angle, or not angle, length that you want, okay? And they'll just be so super cute, just hanging off of the bag. Here's my other one that I can show you. My makeup bag. You see, they'll fluff out. They get much fluffier once they've just been free once they've been let free. Isn't that cute? Yeah, so easy to do. So if you have DMC floss in your stash, yeah, let's grab it. And yeah, let's make some tassels. So cute, right? It'll be so cute. And again, this is one side of the bag, still drying. So I have to be kind of careful when I turn this over. And here's the other side of the bag. And you can see how the tassels will look really cute with either side, right? Yeah, super fun. I even make tassel necklaces. I've made that. I've made one with lace and all kinds of things with you before. So really a lot of fun.